What we were talking about was creating a thread of relevance throughout the sermon. It not only does it give the sermon some unity, relevant unity, but it makes sure that everyone knows from beginning to end this is what these sermons are designed to do to us, rather than just being a history lesson, about something that happened long ago. I was saying the knock on expository preaching oftentimes is it's just not relevant. Partly because I'll preach for several minutes and you have no idea how this relates to life for all of those minutes. It's just about a text. But with those key areas that we talked about, intention or purpose, creating the need, urging faith in the gospel, and then finally putting that faith into practice through application, with those four things, their relevance is achieved and maintained throughout the sermon. So let's talk about the first one, the creation of need. I find that it's important early on in the introduction of the sermon, within the first 2 or 3 minutes, not only are you introducing the subject of the sermon, which is hopefully the subject of the text, but you're also trying to give a concise statement about this is why we need to hear this sermon. For instance, through the Isaiah series we've been doing, one of the reasons why we need to hear Isaiah is because Isaiah is trying to stop the trend of the church becoming more and more like society and less like the Savior. So somehow in the introduction I want to flesh out the particular need for us to hear this message, let's say Isaiah 26. Why do we need to hear this? I want them to hear that in the first few minutes of the sermon so that everybody knows that we're on the same, not only are we on the same page, but this sermon has a goal, a purpose. We need it because it's intended to transform us. It's interesting, Billy Graham, when he used to preach, right at the very beginning of his sermons, he would tell the folks, later on in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to come forward. He would tell them up front what he was going to ask them to do. He didn't keep that a secret. It wasn't like he spoiled the punch of it all or the impact of it. He told them right up front, this is what we're expecting is going to happen. And I think it's helpful to present that need. Why do we need to hear that sermon? Present that in the first few minutes of the introduction so everybody knows, yeah, this is relevant. This actually affects our lives.